Well, that's a great question, because I live on the east side of town, and we actually call it East Ann Arbor. It is historically was its own village. And I have lived in East Ann Arbor since about 2001, but my grandparents raised my mother and her 8 brothers and sisters. And they were founding members of St. Francis Catholic Church over on Stadium, also in Ward 3. To represent all Ward 3 residents requires engaging every resident in conversations and talking about their needs and their wants in terms of what city government can provide for them. Over the years, in my previous service on city council, I attended meetings, I go to places where the voters are and did not expect them to come to me. I think it's important that I listen, and I think it's important that we understand that there is truly economic diversity in Ward 3. We look at the elementary schools and the high proportion of free lunch of the students that attend Mitchell and Pittsfield and Allen. And I think it's important that we provide city services equally to everyone, regardless of whether they're not in Burns Park, Forest Brook, or Arbor Oaks. It's important, and I will continue to do so if I'm elected.
Thank you. Mr. Ackerman, how would you ensure that the needs of residents on the southeast side of Ann Arbor are represented?
Thanks so much. So I would start by pointing out I'm the only member of city council who rents their housing. I'm young, and that's not a surprise to too many people, but that also means that I'm not affluent. As we talk about the decisions that we need to make at the council table and how we represent the ward as a whole, I think my colleague, Mr. Kunselman, is exactly right. It requires an energetic representation that goes to you. Because so often when you talk to the voters and run a grassroots campaign like I am, you hear what's actually on their mind, and so often it's what's at the end of their driveway, not necessarily what's happening from 50,000 feet downtown. We need to deliver consistent trash pickup and recycling pickup. We need to fill people's potholes on their streets within 72 hours. These are all things that we've strived to do. In terms of specific successes on the south side, I'd like to point out securing $300,000 of funding to build a sidewalk gap on Ellsworth to make sure people can get to their bus station safely. I'd also like to point out fully funding and supporting the expansion of the Bride Community Center from 1 building to 2 buildings, and helping our Parks Department deliver that funding through a federal grant as well as a local match. These are tangible things that we can do to better the lives of our residents and better their quality of life, from providing them a safe opportunity to take public transit to having the opportunity to meet as a community in a safe and spacious venue. Then there are other ways that we can do it, and we'll talk about those. I imagine affordable housing will come up at some point, or at least I hope it will, because we need to provide housing for all of our people.